and it's all approved for an absolute auction. The order of the sale. Here's the order. I had several people asking me. We're going to start off with Bardstown Road, right over there. That's 480 North and 476 North Bardstown Road in Mount Washington. We're going to do that first, and I'm going to come back when we get, because I'm going to tell you a little bit more about each property when we get there. Then we're going to go to 10,520 10520 Highway 44 East in Mount Washington. Then we're coming to Shepherdsville, and we're going to do 596 Eastview. We're going to the end of the road. We're going to do 596 Eastview. Then we're going to do 572 Eastview. And then we're coming up to 546 Eastview. And we're going to do those. And the very last thing we will sell will be the 512 Lakeview Drive in Taylorsville. The one over there that's, you can look out and see the pretty lake and all that over there. It's a real nice place if you didn't get to see it. That's the order. Our terms. We want $10,000 down today on each property. That could be in the form of certified funds, cash. We will take a check, but if you give me a check, you'll see those little yellow notes on the boards over there. You're going to sign a personal demand note backing that check up, and I'm going to put your check in the bank Monday. If you need, sometimes people need a day or so to move money from a savings account or the IRA or whatever. I'll give you, we'll talk about that, and I'll give you till Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever. And then when the check clears the bank, I'll either mail you that note or I'll give it back to you at closing. It's just another piece of paper to kind of back up that personal check. That was designed years ago because a lot of people would come to real estate auctions and they didn't bring certified checks or they didn't bring their cash. So that's the reason we have the check and the personal demand note. That's why we're doing that. $10,000 down today on each property. The balance of the contract sale price will be due on or before June 9th, 2013. Possession of each property will be the day you close it. The day you close it. Now, when I get to these properties, I can tell you that several of them are rented. Right now, several of them aren't. There's only one property, and that's Highway 44 East, that has a lease in effect until September. All the other leases, the property's either not rented or they're on a month-to-month lease. So they have 30, you give them 30 days and they're out. But they're all like that, and I'll get you a little closer when we get there. I've got more information on each one. If you didn't get any of the information, there's pieces of, a little pamphlet or flyer up here for every piece of property, and it pretty much tells what month to month and how much they were rented for and everything like that. There is a 10% buyer's premium added to the final bid to determine the contract selling price on each property. So if you bid $100,000 on the little house on Highway 44, we're going to add $10,000 to it. Your contract sale price will be $110,000. If you came to buy Highway 44 East, like I said, there's a 10% buyer's premium added to the final bid to determine the contract selling price. If you came today, and I'm going to explain it right now, if you came today to pay $100,000 for Highway 44 East, I'm going to tell you to stop bidding at 90 or 91, and then we're going to add a 10%, and you will cover you'll be in where you want to be. But you have to keep track of that, and there's a 10% buyer's premium added to the final bid to determine the contract selling price on every piece of property. Does anyone have any questions up to now? That's easy enough, isn't it? All right. The first property we're going to sell here. The first property, I can go over there and get on that here in a second when you start bidding on it. The first property that I'm going to sell is, like I said, we're going to do Bardstown Road in Mount Washington. 480 North Bardstown Road. If you haven't seen it, that's a 2-story brick building. Right on Bardstown Road. I always call it by Gators, up by Gators. And anybody from Mount Washington know what I'm talking about. There, I grew up there, and there was a fellow that had a gas station right there beside it, and his name was Gator, Gator Harris. So I refer to that. So if you hear me saying about Gators, that's what I'm saying. But anyway, there's 480 North Bardstown Road, and that's a 2-story brick building. It has a half bath on the first floor, and on the second floor, it has a full bath. The kitchen, the upstairs is rented for an apartment, the whole upstairs. And there's a full bath and a kitchen and a big living room and 3 bedrooms and things upstairs. And there's steps in the back and there's steps in the front off the front door. That's the brick building. The bottom floor of this 480 North Bardstown Road is not rented. It is not rented, so you've got something else to put in there or turn that into an apartment or whatever. But the bottom floor is not rented. The upstairs of 480 North Bardstown is rented, and it is rented right now for $600 a month. He is on a month-to-month lease, and he has expressed that he's going to be leaving as soon as the month's up or whatever. 476 North Bardstown Road is on the same piece of property. If you didn't see it, it's in the back. It's a big 2-story frame building with 6 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartments upstairs, and downstairs is approximately 4340, according to the appraisal that I have here. 4340 square feet of office, retail, and storage space, and that's on the first floor. And there's 2 half baths there, 1 at each end. It is presently rented to a fellow that's doing a used appliance and house furniture, a little furniture store down there, and it's currently rented. He is renting approximately 2,900 square foot of it, so there's another 1,000 square foot or 1,200 left. He's renting approximately 2,900 square foot of it for $800 a month on that. And on the second floor, I went on until today, $800 on the first floor. On the second floor, the apartment number 1 is rented for $495 a month, and it's on a month-to-month lease. They rented, the estate rented apartment number 2 to the same man that owns apartment number 1. And currently, he is only paying $275 for the second apartment. So the one fellow is renting up there, and the owner, the son, says that he's probably the best renter he has, says it's probably in better shape than it was. He's a clean freak, so he says it's really nice. We didn't get in to see it. Several of these places we didn't get to see. On the brick building, I didn't get to go into the second story because the renters didn't want us in there and didn't want to cook. But anyway, 1 and 2, that's what they're renting for. Apartment number 3 is currently not rented. Apartment number 4 is rented for $595 a month, and they're on a month-to-month lease. Apartment number 5 is occupied, but essentially not rented. It's occupied. They have not paid their rent for months. So they're in apartment number 5. Apartment number 6 is currently not rented, and you've got all this in front of you. Apartment number 6 is currently not rented, and it's been completely redone. It's got new carpet. It's got a laminate, hard-looking floor. It's new carpet. It looks very good. It has a balcony, a deck, and a steps that go down the back. That's the only one of these apartments that has that. Now the catch, or not the catch, but the Gene Miller estate on these properties they paid all the utilities on these properties. So I'm just telling the state everything the way it is. On your handout here, you've got the tax, the PBA record cards and everything like that. If you turn over in there, there is a survey on the back, on in there. And this was at one time, this was, Gene Miller owned this whole little block there, and he retained or kept a strip of land. You'll see it, it's a little L, and I got it, I'll pick that up on that survey over there with the color, the kind of walk right there on 7 on the, yeah, there you go. Kind of walk around there so they get it. But you got a survey there, that's what it is. And he bought that for so he could make his driveway back to the apartments. The owner of the property next to it, to the left, he has an easement to use that for life. So that strip cannot be blocked or whatever, but it does belong to the Miller estate, and it does go back into the back property. That's what that is. You got a copy of the contracts in there. Also in the back of your paper, there is, I have an appraisal up here. We'll get to here in a little bit. The appraisals were done, all these appraisals were done last June. They have, the appraiser did an income approach, more or less. He used the property as it was. He had 7 apartments. That's how many apartments are there. There's 7 apartments. He had 7 apartments in there. And he had the bottom floor of the retail in there. And his annual, but in the appraiser, he had the people living there paying the rent. So, paying the utilities. So, you according to this, you would have to work it so you got your utilities separated and they were paying the utilities. But he has in there $37,000 net income for a year. And then I kind of did some figures on the back, and you got about $50,000 net income on the back if you rented the other things. But that's it. Does anybody got any questions on the Bardstown Road property? Anybody? I love questions. So we want questions answered because I don't want anybody being upset later or anything. Does anybody got any questions on the property? On Bardstown Road. Now we're going to sell this. We're selling both of them as one property. It was going to take too long to get it going through planning and zoning and everything to do what we needed to do, and if we could have done it. So the state and the bank says sell it, and let's move on. So property number 1. Jay's going to talk to you about that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank everybody for coming out before we go any further. If you're driving a green Tahoe, it's out front with your lights on. Property number 1 is the Gene Miller Estate. It's 476 North Bardstown Road. You heard all the income facts on it. You heard all the appraisal stuff they talked about and the rent and income scenarios. So, without further ado, it's on sale. Here we go. What are you going to get? 500, 500, 450, 450 pounds, 450 pounds, 450 pounds, 400, 400,000, 400, 350. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute auction. Mr. Miller's son, ex-executive of the state, has signed the contract. It is going to be sold tonight to the house bidder. So you get your hands up. We're going to do business with you. 250, 250, 250, 225, 225, 110, who 120,